Welcome to part one of A Most Extraordinary Man, the story and prelude to the 1985 Close Upon the Hour fundraising concert for the American Run for the End of AIDS. A story of extreme tears, toil, and triumph. During the AIDS epidemic, I lost over 100 friends. Working in the theater as I did for those many years, between the designers and the dancers, the directors, choreographers, and the actors, a week did not go by that a friend did not die. In the middle of this terrifying epidemic, Brent decided that he could raise awareness on the issues that surrounded AIDS by running around the circumference of the United States. And each night after his run, visit gay bars and institutions and deliver practical advice and healing messages and support to gay men around the country. By running close to 20 miles a day, he figured that it would take a couple of years to run 10,000 miles in over 800,000 steps. I thought my dear friend had lost his mind, but he was determined, and when Brent makes up his mind to do something, it gets done. He created AREA, A-R-E-A, the American Run for the End of AIDS. He began to get in the best running shape of his life. He began to plan the almost 2-year trip. His heroic mother, Marion Nicholson, would drive the support car. Imagine driving around the perimeter of the United States every day for 2 years, never faster than 5 miles per hour. She was some mom, a heroine in her own right. He began to raise money. No easy deal for such an unpopular epidemic. The timing of the run would have to put him on the southern border of the U.S. in the winter and the northern borders in the summer. As he neared his starting date, his small group of area volunteer staff began to realize that they would have to put off the run for another year for lack of funds. People swarmed to be a part of Brent's journey and donate their specialty services. We sold out the night in a couple of weeks. Stars were clamoring to take part, and those who waited too long had to be, sadly, turned away. But Betty Buckley, Victor Garber, Martha Ray, Ann Hampton Calloway, Jenny Burton, Nancy Lamott, Terry Burrell, Marta Heflin, Ken Primus, and Kelly Minucci's great fusion band, Special Effects, all said yes. The concert was a howling success. That night it raised $15,000, which would be equivalent today to around $30,000. More importantly, it enabled the run to stay on schedule. And when, at last, Brent came to the stage, well, here, let's watch. Our hostess for the evening, Dame Cleo Lane, introduces.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Brent Nicholson Earle.
Thank you. Bless you. Not me, it's everybody, really. Thank you all for being here. As the opening song of our show tonight said about friends, the Lord don't give much more than this to man. The main thrust of the American run for the end of AIDS is education. We hope that by my running through communities all around this country and Canada, that we will be able to raise the level of awareness about AIDS, diminish the fear, and motivate people to become actively concerned. The funds that the run raises will go towards educational programs for the public, quality health care for people with AIDS, and for much needed research.
Today we're going to talk to a man who is going to run 10,000 miles across the U.S.
He just woke up one morning and went, all my friends are dying. No one seems to care. I'm going to do something about this.
In the 80s, we had really no other way to respond to the epidemic. His response was, why not run?
It's really 10,000 miles around the United States. I'm running around the country to hopefully circle the country with a net of concern.
And I said, what?
Did you have a lot of training? Are you having a lot of training before?
There's one little problem here. You're not a runner.
He had never run a day in his life.
And he was going to run 20 miles a day for 20 months.
And I thought it was just an idea, and that he would come up with a more practical idea. Silly me.
Real enemies in the fight against AIDS are indifference and denial. That means somebody else is not going to touch my community, it's not going to touch my life. It's very hard for them to deny that I ran down the main street.
He put a face on AIDS as he ran around the country.
That was still a time where we were like, that vaccine is around the corner. We didn't realize we were at the tip of the iceberg of the people who were going to get sick and die. You know, it went on for, it's still going on.
He's as driven as ever. I think he's going to be driven until we get a solution to this goddamn plague.
He's like, I am devoting my life to activism and everything else is immaterial.
I feel as though if I had the strength to do it, I should run around America again. As you can see, I couldn't possibly, but the message still needs to get out there.
On March 1st, 1986, Brent began his run. It's an amazing story of an incredible run that took over 18 months and covered 10,000 miles. He did what he set out to do. Along the way, he wore out 35 pair of running shoes. It's a story for the age of AIDS. At the end of the 80s, People magazine did an end of the decade special feature. The issue ended with the story of Brent's run in 7 pages of pictures and text. So there you have it, part 1 of this 2-part concert. Part 2, the video highlights of the Close Upon the Hour concert, are available to be viewed and enjoyed now. Don't miss it.